Amici mie. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Sing Your Dad Reacts. My name is Josh. I'm excited to be back and doing a reaction to Lara Fabian. She's an amazing artist and one of the most emotive and um, powerful performers that I've reacted to on my channel. She just puts her whole heart into every performance and transports herself into the world of the person experiencing the lyrics of the song. So, and that's, if you know me and you've watched any of my reactions, that's what I love. I love performers that do that. She also has an incredible voice, phenomenal vocal control, breath control. She uses like the breath aspect of like when she takes her breaths in between when she's singing, that actually kind of takes on a life of its own with her performances, which is really neat and powerful and adds an element of emotion and feeling to her performances. So excited to jump in here. The one that many of you recommended, and it's all from this performance from Lara with Love. I would have loved to have been at this performance because everyone that comments on which versions of her songs to react to, they almost always suggest that I react to songs from this particular concert. So if any of you were actually at this concert, let me know down in the comments what it was like and how powerful that was for you, and share a little bit of detail around that, because that really does look like an amazing concert she put on. So with that, I will jump right into the lyrics part of my reaction. If you're new to my channel, what I do that's different from a lot of reactors is I actually look up the lyrics, and then I go through the lyrics of the song and talk about what the songwriter is trying to say through the story, and what we're meant to kind of feel and understand about the character in the song, and what it means to me. So if you're not into this part of my reaction, no big deal. Go ahead and skip ahead. And if you are, let's jump right in here. So I have the English translation that I found. So hopefully this is a good translation. The Italian name for the song, of course, is Perdere l'amore, which from what I found means losing love. The songwriters are Marcello Marocci and Giampiero Artigiani. Hopefully I pronounced those right. And the English translation that I found, it starts out, "And now go away. I want to be alone, with melancholy flying in his sky. I never asked who you were. Why did you choose me? Me who until yesterday thought I was king. Losing love when it gets dark, when a little silver colors your hair, you risk going crazy. Your heart can explode. Losing a woman and feeling like dying. Let me scream, deny the sky. Stone all the dreams still in flight. I'll make them fall one by one. I will break the wings of destiny, and I'll have you close to me. Anyway, I understand you anyway, and I admit I was wrong. I made your choices. Who knows, who knows, who knows what I wanted? And now what remains of all the time together, a woman too alone who still loves you. Losing love when it gets dark, when there is a wrinkle on your face that wasn't there, you try to reason, act indifferent, until you realize that you were of no use. And you would like to scream, drown out the sky, banging your head against the wall 1,000 times, breathe hard on his pillow, saying it's all fate's fault if I don't have you near me. Losing love, damned evening, picking up the pieces of an imaginary life. You think tomorrow is a new day, but again, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. Stone all the dreams still in flight. I'll make them fall one by one. I will break the wings of destiny, and I'll have you close to me. Losing love. Wow. These are some amazing lyrics. Losing a woman and feeling like dying. this kind of talks to like that powerful love that can happen between two people where you just feel incomplete or you feel like dying without them in your life. That's really what kind of comes out with that line from the lyrics. Stone all the dreams still in flight. I love that. That's really a cool line. It's like you almost kind of want those dreams to be like, yanked out of your memory and taken away from you so you don't dream about this person anymore. I will break the wings of destiny and I'll have you close to me. So something in fate or destiny pulled them apart from each other. And now the lyrics are kind of saying, I will break the wings of destiny and have you close to me. So have you back, basically, is what I understand from that. I admit I was wrong. I made your choices. Who knows what I wanted? And now what remains of all the time together, a woman too alone who still loves you. So again, it's that feeling of loneliness and yet still having that love, and that emptiness from not having that person that you love in your life anymore. Saying it's all fate's fault if I don't have you near me. See, so there's something there with fate. We've talked about it twice now, right? Destiny, fate. So something has pulled them apart from each other and separated them. Picking up the pieces of an imaginary life. You think tomorrow's a new day. But again, I didn't expect it. So the new day that this person is having is a new day without this person they love. So it's something they didn't expect. And so they kind of dread the new day coming, right? It's like that kind of looming loneliness that they're feeling. So anyway, that's my take on it. Again, the lyrics are beautiful though. And I was going to read through the Italian version of the lyrics, but because I did learn a lot about how to speak Italian as part of my classical voice training. That's my favorite language to sing, actually. Foreign language is Italian. Maybe I'll do like a cover of an Italian song. If you have favorite Italian songs that are kind of that you would love to hear from a male voice, let me know, and I'll look and see if it's part of my repertoire and maybe do a cover and post it to my channel. I haven't done one of those in a while. Anyway, with that, I will jump into the reaction. The video I found is one that's supposedly remastered for 1080p. The verdict's still out on that. We'll see if the quality is any better from the original. The original was only like 360p, I think, so it was really low resolution. This one is supposed to be restored to a higher quality, and it also has the subtitles, which I wanted to have so that I can follow along with what she's saying as far as the Italian translation to English during the course of the song. So hopefully this is a good version. If you're new to my channel, or if you haven't already, if you could please click on the subscribe, the notifications bell, and let me know you support the channel. It means a lot to me and helps move the channel forward and gets it out there for more of the world to see. Part of the goal that I have with my channel, as you've probably seen, if you've been a part of my channel for a long time, my theme is music lights the world. And that's really how I feel about music. I feel that it brings us all together in a unique way and can inspire us and touch us and lift us when we need it. And I love to be able to share that with you and make new friends through this experience and reach to different parts of the world and interact with all of you from different parts of the world and different cultures, and learn more about the language side and things like that. So it's all very interesting to me. So anyway, with that, let's jump right in here. Hopefully that's loud enough for you
I was
guys.
born in Belgium, so therefore a part of me is there. My mom is Italian, and I feel Italian for so many things, for food, for clothing, for people, the way I live life, I'm very Italian. And then
Mm.
very North American, very Canadian, even Quebecoise, I can really say, because it's the country that welcomed me as a young woman. And
Sorry to pause it. I've always been impressed with her as far as like the eloquence of how she speaks in interviews and the deep thoughts and insights that she shares, and also her ability, like her language. Like she strikes me as a very intelligent person. Not only just because of the way that she presents herself and speaks, but also the fact that she's. It seems like she's fluent in like at least four languages, from what you guys have said in the comments and from what I've seen. Be sure to let me know if that's accurate. I believe it's like French, Italian, English. I think there's at least one or two more. Let me know what languages she speaks in the comments. Go back a little bit here and I'll.
I can really say, because it's the country that welcomed me as a young woman, and a young woman that had a lot to dream about and wanted to dream really hard. It's one of the most beautiful songs performed by Massimo Ranieri. I just can hear my mom sing it.
Oh, that's awesome.
E adesso andate via, voglio restare solo con la malinconia, volare nel suo cielo. Non chiesi mai chi eri, perché scegliesti me.
Wow.
E che fino a ieri credevo fossi un re.
She makes it look so easy and effortless with the way that she attacks each vocal phrase. All the pieces and parts that need to be there from a technical standpoint, from a vocal control standpoint, from a support standpoint, from an emotional standpoint. Um, Everything is there. She's just a consummate professional. And the fact that, and she's just real, that's part of why I think a lot of people love her and Dimash. And I think why they have such a great relationship, because they're very similar human beings. They're just genuine, deep feeling people. And the fact that she kind of opened and said, I can hear my mother singing this. That's awesome. That that this is something that she wants to share, that has a special meaning to her with her family and her mom in this case. So just really impressed with her and her as a person and what she brings.
Credevo fossi un re. Perdere l'amore quando si fa sera, quando fra i capelli un po' d'argento li colora, rischi di impazzire, può scoppiarti il cuore, perdere una donna e avere voglia di morire. Lasciami gridare, rinnegare il cielo, prendere ossa assate tutti i sogni ancora in volo, li farò cadere ad uno, spezzerò le ali del destino.
Sorry if that's a bad spot to pause here. Her voice just like so resonant and just right on pitch, and she's so crisp and enunciates so well but the way that she does it, it doesn't come across like, oh, this is a singer trying to enunciate really well just for the sake of enunciating. She has the right balance of enunciating, but also bringing the feeling in with what she's singing and the phrasing of each of the different phrases within each verse so that it all fits the way it should. And if you'll notice, like different, and you guys mentioned in some of your comments, I was reading them again, that she's had like 10 years of like classical training, um, which I totally believe because a lot of the habits she has and a lot of the things that she does um, are right from that, same stuff that I've learned as a classical vocalist, as far as like opening the mouth, allowing that resonance chamber to be nice and open and to get that good resonance coming through, the tongue forward and not sitting back, closing off the sound, lifting the soft palate, all these different things that kind of are a hallmark for good resonant classical singing. She's got it in spades. She does it extremely well. So and the soaring notes that she's doing, they're just so right on pitch and just so resonant. I'm going to go back a little bit here, make sure I don't miss anything. And there's a lot of jumps from high to low. Her whole body is into it. The energy just comes through with all of her gestures and everything.
Comunque ti capisco e ammetto che sbagliavo. Facevo le tue scelte, chissà, ma poi chissà che pretendevo. E adesso che rimane di tutto il tempo insieme, una donna troppo sola che ancora ti vuole bene.
Wow. Like I think I was saying, and you may not have been able to hear me, but and I could it's almost like a switch flips with her, because part of what I watch as well with the performer is kind of the body language and the way that the energy and the performance come through in the body movements and the gestures and all of that. And you can see like I didn't want to stop when it happened, but you could see if you watch this again and you kind of watch her sing, there's a moment there toward the beginning of the song where she starts moving her arms and starts kind of moving and stuff like that. And you can see just the energy is rising up inside of her. And she's really feeling it. And then she starts using the gestures and she did a little something there where she did a little what I call speak singing, where she kind of says the phrase, and I usually am not a huge fan of that, but with her, I don't mind it because she'll do it like for a tiny little phrase and then she'll be right back in with the notes of the song, and she does it with feeling and almost conversationally, like she's having a conversation with this person that has left her and that she lost, basically, right? So that's part of why I don't mind it, because the whole thing so far has been just her gesturing and almost like she's pleading with this person to come back, and she's having more of a conversation, and more of a real interaction, right? So that's something I just wanted to point out. Let me go back. See her cheeks. That was cool.
prima che ti accorgi che non sei servito a niente e vorresti urlare, soffocare il cielo, sbattere la testa 1000 volte contro il muro, respirare forte il suo cuscino, diventa colpa del destino, se non ti ho vicino, perderò l'amore, maledetta sei, che raccoglie gocci di una vita immaginaria, pensi che domani è un giorno nuovo, ma ripeti non me l'aspettavo, no, non me l'aspettavo.
Oh, key change. Wow. It wasn't really a good place to pause right there. Jeez. She kind of adds this little, like, there's a little, it's not a cry, but it's more like angst at the end of her phrases where she's kind of like, da da da, like that, right? Kind of like just like this little like kind of like that at the end of her phrases. It just adds that feeling and that um anxiousness and the pain to the feelings that she's communicating, right? Little things like that that add to her performance where it's like she's not just singing the notes, she's not just singing the phrasing, she's not just singing the dynamics, she's really adding through her breath and through those little things that I mentioned, and little runs here and there, and really belting it out on a lot of these high notes and everything. She's bringing that, the feeling of the song and the power, in a unique, textured, full way. She's the complete package. Just wow. Like I said, her pitch is right on. See that? That's a smooth key change. Nice.
Perderò
Did you see that? So if you look, I'm glad they zoomed in right there. This is good vocal. These are good vocal habits that she has right here. And I talked about this a little bit earlier in the reaction, right? She's completely relaxed. There's no tension in her neck. I love when they come in close like this because you can see all this stuff, right? If she was, forcing it or straining in the throat and kind of singing from the throat instead of correctly supporting it from the diaphragm, you'd see kind of the neck would be tight and you might see, some tension there. None of that. And her mouth is nice and open, but yet it's kind of a mix between the contemporary and the classical. So like a lot of times with classical, you'll see that they'll open kind of like that, right? Where it's more up and down, where she's kind of found the balance here, where she's open, tongues forward. She has the soft palate lifted. That's what the cheeks are. I like that. But she's not, over classicalizing it, if that's such a thing. She's finding a really good balance where she's singing more with a contemporary feel, but with more kind of the classical application to what she's doing. and it makes for really good quality sound when she's putting it through. But yet it doesn't sound like operatic, right? Because she's not going full on with a lot of those elements, right? Anyway, and it's resonant all the way to the end. Yeah. And there's always a moment with her, and you can kind of see it right now. She's still in the song. She's still, every time, every reaction I've done, she's so immersed in the character. What I started to say there is she's so immersed in the character and the feelings and the story of the song, and immersing yourself as that character that's singing those words and feeling those words, that it takes her a bit to kind of step out of that. You can kind of see it at the end there where she was just like, she's kind of like this for a second, and then she kind of had an expression like, oh yeah, that's right. And then you could see her engage with the audience, and then she kind of stepped out of it. But pretty much every performance I've watched of hers, she does that. She's so completely immersed in the song and the feelings of the song that she has to kind of allow herself to be brought back out and engage with the audience as a performer. And that's really cool. That's amazing in my mind, because I don't see a lot of performers like that where they just kind of, they're all in like that. I mean, I've seen that with like Dimash and So Young, and with Angelina and Diana Ankudinova. I've seen that with them, with those performers that I've reacted to on my channel, but not every performer allows themselves to really, go all in and really feel and experience the lyrics like that. So she's amazing. Another phenomenal performance. She just makes it look so easy. And there were a lot of like jumps in that song where she was jumping down pretty low for the female range, and then she would just jump up, higher, and she had a lot of pretty good sized jumps within some of those verses. And the key change and all of that, right? I mean, she's phenomenal. And like I said, I'm just very impressed with her as a person, and she's the type of person that I could probably meet, and I would just love chatting with her and learning from her, and as a fellow performer, and as a deep thinker, and I'd love to be able to just pick her brain on her approach to performing and how she kind of slips into the role, and the feeling, the deep feeling that she gets with each performance. And that resonates with me because as some of you may know, I do acting on the side. I do stage performing and stuff like that. I performed as Jacob and Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat up at Playmill Theater up in Yellowstone 2 summers ago. And then I performed as Javert and Les Mis at one point. And so with those characters, I tried to really immerse myself into those characters and really, feel what they would feel, and add some roundness to those characters as well, humanity and all that. So I can definitely identify with that. And that's why I notice more so maybe than some reactors when she's kind of disappearing into that role, because it's familiar to me, and it impresses me a lot to see it when they have that ability to do that. So I don't want to make this too long, but yeah, if you could let me know in the comments what other performances that you really want me to react to from Lara Fabian. If you haven't looked already, before you suggest anything, make sure you check my playlists on my channel. I create a playlist for every performer that I react to that has more than one reaction on my channel. So if I've reacted to an artist more than one time on my channel, they have a playlist out there, and you can go and see which ones I've uh, reacted to and watch the different reactions for each artist. So before suggesting anything for Lara, be sure you go check what I've already reacted to and let me know if there are some that I missed that you really would want me to react to coming up here. And I'll try to make it not as long a period of time between now and my next Lara reaction. So thanks again, all, for your patience. And I'm trying to get back on track here. And um, I'm hopefully going to do a couple reactions here and then post a couple this week, or this probably, this weekend, and then going into next week. So um, I will close out the way I always do with my reactions by reaching out to all of you around the world to let you know that you are special, you are loved, and you can accomplish your dreams. And I hope that you can not have what this song describes, where you lose love, but that you can gain love each day with those around you, and you can build the love that you have with your loved ones and your significant others, um, and you can have that support mechanism in your life that will lift you and encourage you and um, help you to really soar and accomplish great things, because you need to know that each of you is capable of that and has great potential within you. So be sure to tap into that. And um, for me, at least, part of that tapping into that potential is found, at least for me, through God and through that higher power, and really turning to that loving presence, and um, allowing myself to have faith in that higher power, and in a purpose for us being here, and the plan of happiness that we can um, all partake in. And that's what gives me a lot of hope each of my days. And so I hope that you can find that in your lives as well, to some degree, whatever that means for you. And again, thank you for all of your support, and take care.